Rapunzel. Part 1. The Carpenter and His Wife. Once upon a time there lived a carpenter and his wife. More than anything, they yearned for a child of their own. At long last their wish came true. They were going to have a baby. From their second-floor window the wife could see the garden next door. Such fine, straight rows of fresh green plants, but no one dared to see them up close, for the garden belonged to a witch. One day, the wife was staring at the garden from her window. How delicious those big green heads of lettuce looked. "I must eat one of them," she said to her husband. "You must go and get me some." "I cannot," said her husband. "You know as well as I do that the garden belongs to a witch." "If I cannot have that lettuce," said the wife, "I will not eat anything at all. I will die." What could the carpenter do? Later that night he climbed over the garden wall. Taking very quiet steps, he broke one green head of lettuce from the ground. Holding the lettuce close to his chest, he climbed back over the garden wall. His wife ate all the lettuce right away. But eating the lettuce only made her want more. She said if she could not have more lettuce, there was nothing she would eat. So the next night, the carpenter climbed back over the garden wall. He broke one more head of lettuce from the ground. All at once rang a high, loud voice. "Exactly what do you think you are doing?" I'm getting lettuce for my wife," said the carpenter. "Thief!" yelled the witch. "You will pay for this." "Please," said the carpenter, "my wife is going to have a baby. She saw your lettuce and wanted it so very much." "Why does that matter?" howled the witch. "I will do anything to make this right," begged the carpenter. He thought, "Surely I can build her something she would like." "You say you will do anything?" said the witch. "Yes, name it." "Fine," said the witch. "Here's the deal. Go ahead, take all the lettuce you want. Your wife will have a baby girl, and when she does, the baby will be mine." "What?" said the carpenter. "I will never agree to that." "You already did," said the witch, and she laughed an evil laugh. Part 2. The Tower. Indeed, the wife had a baby girl just as the witch had predicted. To keep the baby safe from the witch, the carpenter built a tall tower deep in the woods. He built a staircase that led up to a room at the very top, and he installed one long pointed window in that top room. He and his wife took turns staying there with the baby. But the witch had a magic ball, and the magic ball showed the baby was in the top room of this tower. When the carpenter and his wife were both inside the house, the witch cast a spell over both of them, and they fell into a deep sleep. The witch went directly to the tower and up to a room at the top, where the baby slept in its cradle. "You are mine," hissed the witch. "I will call you Rapunzel, for that is the name of the lettuce that brought you to me." With her magic, the witch sent the carpenter and his wife back to their cottage. The witch did not know how to take care of a baby. Rapunzel grew into a child, and the witch did not know how to cut her hair. The girl's blonde hair grew longer and longer. All the witch could do was keep the little girl locked in the room at the very top of the tower. She told the child that the world was a very bad place, and that is why she must never leave the tower. As she grew up, many times Rapunzel said to the witch, "There is nothing here for me to do. Why must I stay in this tower all the time?" And the witch shouted back, "I told you so many times! The world is a very bad place. Now comb your hair and be quiet." "Is it really so bad out there?" Rapunzel would sometimes insist. "I hear people laughing down there below the window." At such times, the witch would yell, "How many times do I have to repeat myself? Don't listen to anything you see or hear out there. The world is much worse than you think." On her 12th birthday, Rapunzel found the courage to say to the witch, "I don't care what you say anymore. I'm so tired of staying here alone all the time. When you are gone, I will chip away at the door. I will make a hole. I will run down the stairs and go outside, and you can't stop me." "You think so?" said the witch. "Think again." With her power, she made the staircase in the tower collapse. She closed up the door at the base of the tower so there was no trace of it. Now there was no way for Rapunzel to escape. Part 3. A Singing Voice. By then, Rapunzel's hair had grown very, very long. Once the stairs were gone, when it was time for the witch to visit her in the tower, she would call from outside, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel would throw her long blonde braid out of the window. The witch would grab hold of her hair like a rope, and that is how the witch climbed up the tower wall to the window in Rapunzel's room. 5 more long years went by. Poor Rapunzel, she had to stay that room day after day. all she could do was sing sad songs from the window. Sometimes birds at the treetops would join her songs. Then she would feel a little better, but only a little. One day, a prince was riding through the woods. He heard a sound of beautiful singing. It seemed like it was coming from the treetops, but of course that was impossible. He rode closer to the sound and at last was standing before the tower. "This is odd," he said, looking around the base of the tower. "There is no door to get in, yet someone is singing at the very top of the tower. How does anyone get in or out?" The singing enchanted him, and the prince found himself returning to the tower each day. Who was this young woman, and why was she there every day? One day, when the prince rode up to the tower, he saw an old woman standing at the base of the tower. He jumped behind a tree to hide. He heard the witch call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair!" A long blonde braid was thrown out from a window at the very top. The old woman grabbed onto the braid and climbed to the window at the very top of the tower. "Aha!" thought the prince. "So that is how it's done." He waited. After a bit, the braid was thrown out the window again. The witch climbed back down the tower wall. Then she left.
Abia aștepți următoarea poveste? Abonează-te la canalul de YouTube Totul este posibil pentru a primi o notificare când publicăm noile episoade. Noapte bună, copii!